Okay. All right. So first thing I'm going to talk about is going over how to actually like present. So if you are in, I'm going to take over the screen for a minute. So let me do that first. Okay. And then you should see my screen. All right. And with this, so the first thing I wanted to show you are a couple of commands. Now, this is just real quick, and I know a lot of you have already played in Google Meet, but again, if somebody hasn't, first thing up here, if you click on this, that'll give you a list of all the students or all the people in here, and you can click through them and see what they're up to if their screen's on, or you won't see anything if they have it turned off. There's no way to see all their faces, I believe, at the same time. And then also, if this chat feature over here, if you click on that, you can actually type in little messages, and it's really a neat way for the students to ask you questions without having to turn on their mic, without having to kind of interrupt you if you're in the middle of talking and whatnot. So feel free throughout today if you want to start using the chat and writing down questions and whatnot. And there's some things down here as well, as all of you have seen the mute and the record buttons. Another thing is, if the session was started in a calendar, if you click on this, it'll actually give you all of the information from the calendar event, which is kind of neat. And then to present your screen like I'm doing now, you can click on this presenting button. And when you do that, it'll give you two options. One is your entire screen, and then the other one is just a window. And if you want to turn on captions as well, which might be useful for some students if they can't hear what you're saying, or you can turn that on, and then it'll actually like start writing at the bottom. Okay, and then in here there's settings. Obviously that's where I turned on the recording, so you can stop recording. You can change the layout, which doesn't do much if you have 30 kids in a class, but you'll start to see some people. But if you click on over here, it'll just give you, the side. This seems more useful, so you can kind of pop around. And then there's some other settings and whatnot. Okay, so that's kind of the overview. Okay, so my plan for digitally teaching is I'm going to make 3 to 10 minute YouTube videos of some kind of concept. And then I'm going to give the students a task to kind of show that they can do that concept. And then they'll have to turn in whatever they did on Google Classroom so that I can check it out, give them feedback, and kind of do that. And then I'll just keep repeating that kind of flow. I'm only going to use Google Meets after I've kind of taught a few lessons, and then it's just kind of like almost like a tutoring session to kind of catch up with the kids maybe once a week, see how they're doing, and they can ask questions live, and then I can go over problems and whatnot. I'm not going to use Google Meet as as my main teaching tool because of a couple of reasons. One, for me, I think the videos just work better. Another thing is if there's a lot of like somebody was saying the kids are all talking at the same time, that might be distracting if somebody's going back into the Google Meet and watching it. And if they're trying to figure out a problem that you did at maybe minute 26, they'll have to spend a lot of time kind of figuring out where in the video that actually showed up. So that's a couple of reasons that I'm not going to use Meet all the time. We did just get an email that the district is only going to support Google Meet. So if you want to use Zoom or something else, it's totally up to you, but you might not get as much support with that. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. Okay, so then the kind of the real reason that we're here, how you're going to make these mini lessons. So this document that I shared with everyone kind of goes over all the different ways that I've and some other teachers have figured out how to create content. The one thing I do want to mention is you really want to upload anything to YouTube, not to your Google Drive, because they use two different technologies, even though they're both Google. YouTube is designed for streaming, and Google Drive is really designed just for you hosting files and then students downloading them. So if you put a video file in Google Drive, the students have to download that whole file before it starts playing, and they might not realize that that's what's happening, and they'll just say it doesn't work. So you'll get less issues if you use YouTube. You can also post on YouTube as unlisted, so you would have to then give the students a link to the video or a link to your playlist, and then they can watch your videos. That way it's not open to the whole public if that's something you're concerned with. But again, just assume everything that you put on YouTube or do in a Google Meet is public, just in general. Oh, another thing that I noticed, because I've been taking videos of my lessons throughout the year, is sometimes if you're logged in as your school account on YouTube and you try to watch one of your own videos, it won't play. So if you're on a Mac, just have Safari open. And then if you're on like Windows, have Edge or Internet Explorer open so you can watch your own videos. It's a weird thing. Okay, so do you suggest we create a YouTube channel to house all the videos? So I think the way that YouTube really works is no matter what you do, you will have a YouTube channel. But and that's basically if the students, put in your info, they'll get all of your videos. I recommend, and what I've done is I've made playlists for all of my concepts. So for example, these are all like, this is 37 videos. It's all on the topic of bonding. So I would really kind of like recommend you do something like that. Now, again, I'm on Chrome right here. And if I click my own video, it shouldn't work because Google has this weird issue that it's, yeah, so unfortunately it doesn't work here. But you can also see that in the text description, I told them what the problem actually is there. And then I gave the video obviously explaining it. And I have the videos all in order so that they can kind of like start at the beginning and go through it. This is just what I've been doing in class normally. Now, because of this whole situation, I was thinking of maybe making a Google Doc that kind of shows them, all right, so today you're going to watch this video and you're going to answer these questions, just something where there's one spot where you can kind of like figure that out. Okay, so I got another question with how do you split the screen like that? And I'm on a Mac and I just learned this the other day. If you hold, I'm going to get out of it for a second. Hang on one sec. Sorry, it's easy to do. It's just a little weird. Nope, wrong button. Okay. So if you hold the green button instead of just click it, or if you just hold the mouse over it for a little bit, it'll actually kind of ask you if you want to tile it to the left or the right of the screen. So that's what I did there. And then it'll ask you, what do you want for the other side? So if you click that, it'll pop it up there, which I think is a really cool thing for something like this. Okay, so that's kind of YouTube, the difference between the two. All right, and then the rest of this kind of goes into how you can make lessons. So the first one was hold the camera and just record yourself. That's kind of what I did when we were still in school. Another thing is like, okay, why don't you make a screen recording from your iPhone or your iPad? So you could show them a PowerPoint, you could voice over it, you could actually draw on it if you're on an iPad. That's what these videos kind of show you how to do. You can also open up PowerPoint on an iPad or an iPhone, and you can use their built-in little ink annotation, it's called. You can draw on the slides. That's how I made these ones. And then you can even save the slides with the writing on it, so then you can share that with the students as well. So they can not only get the video, but they could get like a PDF of your writing. Okay, and then you could also screen record what's on your computer screen. So that's what you have here with the Mac. And Windows. There's two ways to do that. Okay, so that's all static. So what we're doing right now with Google Meet, that would be like a live, and that's kind of another thing that you could do as well. Okay, and then there's two options. Google Meet is obviously what we just found out, it's what's supported by the district, and then Zoom, which has a lot of cool features, not supported by the district, but if you want to use it, I at this point, I can't say you can't, but there's some privacy issues from what I've heard, but I don't know, anything about that. So look to another John Davis email about that. All right, and then there's also ways to scan into your phone. So when, let's say you have the students do a project or you have them writing or doing equations or something and you want to see their work, these are different ways that they can scan it. So it's not just a bunch of pictures, so it's one PDF, and they can upload it to your Google Classroom assignment. So that's kind of the idea in here. And then this is a way to grade on the iPad. If they submit a photo of their work, you can actually like mark it up and give them notes and then send it back to them so they can fix it or they can get feedback on what you've been doing. Okay, and then down here is just some things people have had questions with that I've and other people have been able to help us out. All right, so honestly, that's my whole presentation for today. The rest of this is just time for you guys to ask questions, and I can help you with anything that you need. Feel free to jump out of here at any time. There was a link if you could fill it out for just a survey for the PD. Basically, if you have a question and you don't want to put it in the chat, you can put it in there or you can email it to me, however you're more comfortable.
Hey Kyle, it's Kate. I have a Mac computer, and if I'm thinking that I want to do like a PowerPoint and maybe like split screen it to do, and then like I guess I would be on one side and the PowerPoint would be on the other side. Do I use your instructions from number 5?
Yeah, you could definitely use the instructions there. Yeah, now that we've kind of gone over the split screen, that would work. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you could do that. So what would be on the other side? Like it would just be kind of like you in photo booth, like kind of so they could see your face, and then like the PowerPoint on the other side.
I guess, or you're saying to use Loom? Is that what I should use?
You could do you want to do this? Yeah, you could use Loom. Loom's really easy. And it's not going to be live though, right? You just want to do a recording?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I would use Loom because then you don't even have to do the whole split screen thing. Loom will just have like a little circle on one point in the screen that's your face, and then the rest of it'll be the PowerPoint. And you can move the circle around. You can make it bigger, smaller, depending on how large you want your face to be.
Okay, and
It's so easy.
That one's okay to use? Like I know you said that the district was only doing Google Meet, but
yeah, so that's for, I think what, I didn't read John Davis's email. I just saw an email from my principal about it. I think it's mainly for live, but since you're going to be pre-recording, you can pre-record it in whatever technology you want, and then host it on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I saw a question in the chat. Troster, so putting a video on Google Classroom has to go through the slow download process. Yeah, so if you, well, it depends on where you're getting that video from. If you're getting it from YouTube, it'll just link right to YouTube. But if you're uploading a video to your drive and then sharing a link to it on Google Classroom, then it will be slow. It just depends on how you're putting it up there. And Brittany, and so Troster, let me know if that answers your question. And then Brittany put, can you delete a video once it's uploaded to YouTube? Yes, I'll show you how to do that right now. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so when you're in YouTube, and I'm just going to go right back to youtube.com to show you how to start. You're going to log into your school account, and then if you go to right here where it says upload video or go live, click on upload video. Even if you don't want to upload a video, it's kind of the quickest way to get into the YouTube studio, they call it. And of course, something went wrong. All right, hang on 1 sec. You could also go to youtube.com/upload. Okay, and if you had a file, you know, this is where you would upload your video. You can also upload your video right from your phone or iPad, however you're going. You do that right inside the YouTube app. But for this, for your question, you just click the X here, and it'll give you a list of all of your videos chronologically. And if you go to visibility, as soon as it loads, it'll say whether it's public, unlisted, or private. So even if you're like, you don't want anyone to see your video, you could just set it to that. You can also delete the video, and you can also click on download the video. So if you wanted to have another copy of it, you could do it. You could do that as well. I'm not sure why it's not. We're having some issues right now with it loading. It could be my internet. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't show you, but that's where you would go, into youtube.com/upload into your, it's called the studio, and then you could delete it from there. If you need help, I can show you how to do it later. Yeah, so that's a great idea. So for example, and I wish I could show you, I'm going through a coding chapter next week with my students, and as I'm going through the unit, I'm actually doing the class as a student. So I'm recording everything. I'm recording myself doing all the challenges, all of like the quizzes, all that stuff. And I'm posting it all on YouTube. But the answers to the quizzes and stuff, it's so that I remember how to do it later on. But all of that's unlisted on like a separate playlist. So then the students won't be able to see those videos, and they'll only be able to see the videos that I select unlisted or public and share them, you know, share a link with them. So I can like slowly put out content to kind of keep herding them in the direction that we want to, you know, that I want them to go. Great question.
Hi, Kyle. It's Michelle Lambert. How are you?
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I signed on about 3 minutes late, so I'm wondering, do I need to subscribe to YouTube? Do I have to have an account in this, or can I just go on and begin?
Good question. We already have an account with YouTube through the school. So if you just go to youtube.com and then use your regular school login, you're ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And all the information's the same, the login and the passwords?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like logging into Google Classroom.
Oh, all right. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I log into this classroom twice? I have it on my phone, but I'm also trying to practice it on the computer, but I
Yeah.
can't read the comments. So if I do that, will I interrupt
Oh,
it?
great question. Okay, so if you leave this Google Meet, you won't be able to go back and look at the chat because it only lets you see the chat for while you're in the Google Meet. So it's kind of a bummer if you're like, oh, I want to put links over there for the kids once they get into this Google Meet. You can't do it because it's just as long as they're in there.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
But yeah, no problem. You could definitely try to log in on a phone or anything else. All right, so let me see, Trasher. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to go to, and again, if you don't have any questions, feel free to get out of here. You know, you guys need time to work on stuff. You can always email me at any time. I can help you out, and I'll make videos for everything. So Dennis, I have a question for you. Which video, no problem, Jill. Which videos are you talking about? Like this one? I'm not sure where this one's going to go. But all the videos that I'm making, I'm always going to put them into that teacher resources document I emailed you already. So that document will actually just keep getting better and better throughout this whole experience. So hopefully that helps. So I'll put in that YouTube, you know, how to make a video and all that into there.